Okay. And I set this up because we didn't get to this part. We were doing a one-on-one with Matt earlier. But guys, I built a PDF and I put it, well, surprise, surprise. I built a PDF that basically goes into this and how to set up, and here's the project sequencing. So you guys can look at that and the PDF, and it shows what I've been explaining the last couple of weeks of project sequencing when you guys are using projects over here in your project screen, setting the buy box, the market project, the comps, MRA, rehab scope of work, ARV, skip tracing. The reason is you put all these together, and we've talked about 30 to 45 days. Some people are confused thinking it takes that long to work. No, it'll work, start working right away. But what this does is it starts building up your muscle memory, the equivalent to muscle memory of how to, here's Matt too. So let me real quick get him on and kind of let him know. Hey, Matt, cool, welcome. I was just telling about the
Yeah.
base 44, but I'm showing that what I was going to show you earlier, except we were up looking at your base 44. So this is the process, and we did come up with the PDF that I put into Facebook groups, and I can send everybody. But like I said, we're trying to create in projects the muscle memory, so you guys just start using these to train them. Like we were saying, it's in 30 to 45 days. You're not going to be over here working in projects as much as you are just in the prompt bar. You are training it. You are training it. So you set up these projects, your buy box, your market projects, your comps, your MRA, your rehab scope work, ARV, and skip tracing. And now I have that operator guide. So we built a core operator guide, and I know Curtis, you've been out for a couple of weeks working on your project. So I built I put all those 5 prompts in there. The market reality prompt. I put in the skip tracing war room prompt. So it's all in one PDF. Now it walks everybody through it. And there's another prompt we call the Delta Suite protocol. So what I've learned is since in the last couple of weeks is when it gives me those reports or those briefings that I showed you guys that show me like Jefferson County, El Paso County, and I use those, they actually are called their own nickname for it's Delta Suite. So I created the Delta Suite protocol, and there's a prompt, and you can go in there and change it, enter it in your prompt bar, and you can deploy an agent. Just change it from Colorado to whatever market you're in. So if you're in Cook County, Illinois, change it for Cook County, Illinois, or you can even put statewide in there. Run that. That's going to start developing those briefings like I get. Like I got 4 of them today. So that's kind of cool. But what it does is it talks about like RCIC, the operational modes. You're an acquisition, disposition, funding, valuation, war room for skip tracing. So you get into all those are the operational modes, really. Even though we have the modes are named different, this is actually generally like pillars or it's basically the 5 key areas of any kind of a deal. And you get to stress the deal workflow. And guys know there's that. I'll show you guys the RCI thing box before we go when I show you market domination, which is the main thing that I built. This is cool. So this will be signal, verify, underwrite, scope, capital, and execute. Then we get into the Delta Suite cadence of the protocol to focus on change detection instead of stale lead recycling. So you were looking at detection of changes at the AHJs of those leads coming in. We're no longer calling them leads, we're just calling them opportunities because we don't want to use by the time like PropStream and all those companies get them out, they're stale. You guys can get them like this morning. Jefferson County put their list out at 8:05 this morning. I checked at what time they were live. They had 7 more that came out foreclosure filings in the last week. So I was able to actually, you could get those right away live. That's the freshest you can get them outside of.
What?
I'm going to show you the market.
The one thing about this market domination thing, you have to understand this is a cumulative effort. You want to start with the biggest, baddest deal you can find or you can come up with. You want to get the biggest, baddest market you can. Why? Because if you make one deal work out of that, that's your model that you want to use because everything below that will be very easy and you won't have a problem with any of it. And you got to remember, you're not the one that's doing this. This is the thing that's doing it, but you have to guide it to that position. And that comes with repetitive efforts, and you have to basically do the same thing over again and make the modest adjustments, but always start from a position of strength. The biggest, baddest real estate deal that you think you could ever come up with, put it in there and see what the hell happens. Use it as a base. Always go bigger than you can, because this will get that far. That way you don't ever have to worry about reaching a ceiling yourself. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
So you guys get into a daily operator cadence, like a morning sweep, midday underwriting, afternoon outreach, and day control. You don't have to do these manually. You can set those up to do it for you. So we're into, this is really for the system. Like I said, we were going to do, we get into all the systems, and here's the PDF, the operating guide, which is really cool. But we'll go over here to what we're going to go on our topics tonight. It's the same material, right? So you guys look at here is actually what you guys see is that briefing, right? That briefing that I get. So this is the one Jefferson County, the one in blue right here. So you guys know that this is actually what I get. I get 15 of these briefings a week, and these are the Delta Suite protocols. So you guys have seen this before when it's just on the black screen and it's got the weight. So it's the same thing, right? So I put this in there. There's the on-ramp. I mean, that's the off-ramp. The off-ramp was the link. So Matt, when you were showing us yours earlier, and it should actually in the system actually give you a link where you can actually click on this and go right to this in Jefferson County, Colorado, if you were looking there. It gives all the recent filings. These are in Jefferson County, in Lakewood, Littleton, Evergreen, where I live, and stuff, Boulder County. It's got the Boulder County. There's an off ramp. So just remember, everybody, it's kind of, we're comparing it to an interstate highway. Off ramps and on ramps. Every off ramp is a set of hotels and restaurants in the world's largest ball of string, which I think is actually advertised in Kansas, by the way, Kevin. Just so you know, I think I've seen it.
Yeah.
You guys can go there, and these off ramps are going to be your AHJs, your counties, your, everything, deal analysis tools, market, all that stuff. Capital Passport. Think of those as just your stops, like on RCICsystems.com. So you guys get into highlight. Well, let's just scroll down a little bit because it gets into all this information. It's going to give you the overbid claimants. It gives you all the claimants, like who claimed on it, on overbid and stuff. It gives you the top 10 actionable opportunities. Pretty much that's good. But down here, it's going to give me an analysis. So I posted these guys, so you guys can go read them on your own. I posted them in both Facebook groups. So I've got the actual briefing, and then I got this analysis of that briefing that I put in both Facebook groups, and I got the nationwide one as well. I'll scroll up and show you that one. But it gets into here that this the national reports show pressure. They identify pressure. County intelligence identifies actionable opportunity. So if you're out there looking at national, you're looking at 118,000 foreclosure filings in the first quarter of 2026. How do you go through all those? You obviously want to go to the markets you want to go to and analyze it. So when Kevin's saying go big when you're first, it's like a filter, right? Everything goes in bulk at the top of the filter and it comes out the bottom to the little spigot. It comes out finer, like if you're cooking or motor oil, things like that. Obviously how a funnel works. You guys want to think about it that way. The better. That way it refines it. In the process, you got all the deal analysis tools and all that to come out the bottom.
Yeah, instead of having one great deal, you might find a second one, the diamond in the rough, because you expanded your opening salvo. And it's going to continue to be that way.
And it's going to show you that this zip code, it'll actually tell you what zip codes are, what it's doing. Like you could have 80906 and 80917 in Colorado Springs, and they're next to each other, but they're completely different demographics and everything, because 80917 is Stetson Hills. And it's all modern tract homes that have been built in the last 20 years. So pick any suburban, tract homes and apartments and townhomes and all that stuff. Big box, they got the grocery stores, they got the Starbucks and all that stuff. You go to 806, it's all older. It's all older infrastructure, older homes. A lot of people have been there forever. Most of their homes are paid off. If they're in distress, if there's any kind of issues, it's generally could be probate. It could be just people are dying. And it's probate, or if there's a foreclosure, there's an issue. There might be something else. Whereas you're not going to see as many foreclosures in 806 as you're going to see in 817, where there's a lot of people that come and go. It's also military. There's a lot of people that, for some reason, they get in trouble financially or something like that. So it'll actually tell you what's going on in the counties and in your markets. So you can start going, hey, I want to focus on that zip code. As you're going, then you can start breaking these down. So instead of serving Jefferson County, now I can go look at 4 different zip codes in Jefferson County, and I can ignore the other 4. There's more than 8 though. That's kind of, you get where my point is, but you see, here he goes. Go to break Colorado to lanes. Jefferson County, upstream equity distress. Denver, obviously the capital city, tactical auction inventory. It gives you all the terminology. It's basically telling you what's going on there. Scalable investor corridor in Aurora. Boulder's a premium equity distress. I mean, they just showed a thing that Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, has bought like 3 estate properties since he became the coach of Colorado. You know, it's a huge affluent. Evergreen, higher margin mountain equity lane. There's a house there right now that I believe is $250,000 to $300,000 in profit if you flip it. Every market has different execution physics. And then you guys get into it. BuyBox logic. Operator A, they want sub 400,000 K wholesale velocity. Their focus is going to be Aurora and Denver. Operator B wants premium equity and creative finance. This is where your BuyBox is coming in. So when you guys go be as detailed as you can to let your BuyBox, that's what it's gonna take. 84 foreclosure filings in El Paso County, Colorado Springs in November, and it's gonna come up and feed you the exact deals you want. So you go into, you get into Boulder and Evergreen. Operator C wants trustee-sale flips, Jefferson County. It's gonna tell you where to go once you dial this in. And we're saying this process, the maximum is 30 to 45 days if you're just following, just kind of doing this stuff daily and kind of working some tasks. You get your BuyBox, you get those in order, just follow that PDF and build those in order over in your projects, start feeding them all in. When you get the list for your BuyBox, just go put it in your BuyBox. You're going to get that NDE list, or you copy and paste that entire list that you find in Jefferson County off that off-ramp link. Copy and paste that whole thing, put it in your BuyBox, let it run it. You can run 100 properties against what you're looking for, and it's going to come up with 10 or 12 properties. It's going to save you that much time. It's far more accurate. It can start building everything out for you. That's how Eric was able to take 1,000 foreclosure filings and in 12 minutes get it down to 10. They're all skip traced. Then he went and did, he compared the numbers that RCIC came up with and to manual underwriting on 10 deals and said that he figured out that he was within 97%, which I'm like, dude, I'll take like 85%, maybe even 80. Because if we know a threshold, if we know a variance that we have to apply, we really don't have to apply to a variance to 3%. I mean, people are going to try to make 20, 25%. Yeah, if you want to, go ahead and make it. But I mean, like if somehow somebody screws up and it's only off 3%, you still made pretty good money. I know people might be like, hey, you want to get every penny you can? Yes. But like I said, if it's that accurate, you guys can start, as you guys dial in, it will be. Here's the live. Let's dump. I was trying to get in.
The actual review that what was it, 44 put out on the system, and this is what it said.
Yeah. So this is showing these 3 recommended properties, live property analysis. So it's got that 3796 Ponderosa Drive in Evergreen, Colorado. You guys can look that up and you can see that property. That property is, they owe like 325. Just kind of gauging off of it, you're probably looking about 125 for rehab, maybe about 50 for holding costs and stuff. You're in there for 550. That property is going to sell for 850 to 900,000 when you flip it. Show the RCIC analysis now, so you guys get it. It's going to run you through all this stuff. You guys get the official source verification, your BuyBox match. You're going to get into distress stack, GIS. You guys remember trust GIS sometimes because GRS is GIS, and you guys read what Matt wrote in chat because he'll tell you what base 44 basically said about RCIC. So when you get in GIS, remember 911, everything they base everything off GIS. That's where they go and they put in all the, how does engine company one and get to the fire the most efficient way and safest GIS. It plots out the route. And a lot of the fire trucks now, they have their MDTs, their terminals, their computers, laptops in the truck, and it actually gives them the most efficient route. It's pretty cool that way. It gets into equity estimation, skip tracing, your capital match, offer strategy, execution timeline. It's pretty cool. Then it talks about Colorado. But let me real quick go up and show you the national one I did. Just above it, because I put, and forget, you guys can go through these on your own. They're in both Facebook groups I posted. So there's 4 posts. There's 2 for national, 2 for Colorado. Let me jack up here, get it to national. And then I'm going to show you a couple things, and then we're going to go over. I'm going to show you guys.
Yeah, just think about this. He's going to go find the national report. Now, for those of you that follow all the business crap that comes out all the damn time on TV, all the housing starts, all these different statistical information that they supposedly make all these decisions with, we actually know what the hell's going on before those people have any clue. And because of that, this thing could probably project or put a pretty good estimation as far as where the actual market is headed. And that's something nobody else can figure out. I don't know why, because this is pretty cut and dry.
So this was just ran this today. It gave it to me about 3:30 my time today, this afternoon. So last 48 hours, foreclosure pressure continues building nationally. Recent ATOM. You guys can go to ATOM, ATTOM, just Google it. It comes up. It's pretty pricey to get ATOM information. I'm able to somehow get it and pretty good, a lot of good information. So you got ATOM linked reporting, show foreclosure filings and completed foreclosures materially above prior year levels. So you got Texas, Florida, Illinois, Georgia, Arizona, Ohio, and Pennsylvania, highest velocity. So you guys get in these operating corridors. Let me see, Don just came on. Hey, Don, what's going on? I'll catch you up in a second, but yeah. So this is the national ones right off that report, right? So they got the, Jacksonville, Tampa, Dallas, Detroit, Cleveland, Philadelphia, Atlanta, Phoenix, Chicago, Houston. You guys could actually take that operator guide and the Delta Suite protocol from that and ask it to make it for one of these markets. Can you make me an Atlanta market guide? Can you make a Delta Sweep for Atlanta? Have it run a Delta Sweep, have it make a market guide. Then you can generate all this stuff from Atlanta. So you guys looking at here, now it's giving you the top distress flow the last 48 hours. There's Houston, there's Chicago. It tells you the zip codes, elevated, rising. So it's going to give you those zip codes and it tells you how many, properties are each. There's notices, foreclosure filings, how many are evictions, and the status. That's pretty cool. It gives you those numbers. The actual, the report, the briefing is actually, covers the whole screen. Just remember, this is kind of condensed. So I apologize for how it's presented. It just, because I put it in here to have it run in the report. So it's got the notable new cases, Houston. This gives you the address. There's the case number. Guys, remember now you can go over and you can actually put in this Houston and ask for the case number. While you're there, have it generate all the things that are in Houston, the same
going on,
and then put it in your BuyBox and have it separate those 2-3. I mean, right now in Chicago, there's like 300 something filings for foreclosures. Go in there and get a Chicago. Like there's a Chicago right there. There's Parnell Avenue. You'll put that in there and then generate that list, put in your BuyBox, and then start telling it that you want that from those zip codes every week. And it'll start bringing those, so it generates those. So you guys get down here, it gives you all the information, guys. Philadelphia, all that. So you get the top 10 fastest moving micro markets, and it gives you the top market and the top zip code of that market: Houston, Phoenix, Chicago, Atlanta, Detroit, all that. You guys start getting into, it's going to give you the primary drivers. Then it's going to give you the top 25 actionable opportunities. Keep in mind, I know, so Don said you just came on. I posted these two briefings that I got earlier, one from National, one from Colorado, with the report that I generated after that. I made an analysis. Those are all posted in the two Facebook groups. So I was telling everybody they can go, you guys can all go read these on your own and see how incredible they are. And then just run the Delta Sweep and run the operator guide, and you'll be able to generate your own. You guys get down in here. So now after that national report, now it's going to get into the stress report, BuyBox analysis pipeline. So, most investors are collecting data. You're building workflow. So the report is not opportunity. The workflow is the opportunity. And it's going to tell you, you can ask it, you can have it run this. Like I said, just go in and copy and paste this from Facebook, my post, and go put this in there with that. And it'll actually run this the way that I ran it, that I'm showing it to you. Ingest the report. And it's going to give you, build the BuyBox logic. What does your operation actually want? Do you want trustee states only? Do you want judicial only? Do you want sub 300K? Do you want owner absentee? Do you want eviction pipeline, utility off cutoffs, high equity only, multifamily only? So a BuyBox is not a zip code, it's a decision framework. So this is, like I said, you guys can copy this on your own. You can go in there and you can just, these are these are exactly how they are on the screen in the Facebook group. And I also save some PDFs. So it's kind of cool. It goes through, like I said, here's the analysis pipeline, signal detected, BuyBox match, GIS review, distress stack review, skip tracing, capital match, offer strategy, outreach, underwrite, close. So now, real quick, like I said, what I talked about the last couple of weeks, if you guys go to the start screen for core, you guys know there's obviously a change mode is important. And actually right now that operator guide that you see is put as core, it's called core operating guide. It's a PDF. They're both, like I said, it's probably in the top 5 updates, uploads to files in the Facebook groups. So you guys can go pull the operator guide and it walks you through this entire process that I'm showing now. So I just made this to be more clear than what we've done in the last couple of weeks because I consolidated what everybody's questions were and try to figure out how the best to give you guys something that you can go do it yourself in 5 to 10 minutes. And even if you've already been, doing it and need some help, you guys can probably have it done in 5 to 10 minutes.
Once you guys get this all down, and in about 30 to 45 days, we're all going to need to get together and do a review, just because we may have to make some adjustments to the actual system itself based on the results. So the other thing is, again, you have to also understand that you're not just dealing with a real estate thing here, but you also have a consulting business coming your way. You actually own it. And more of these people are going to be coming to you because they can't do any of the fixes on the system that we're going to end up selling to them starting on Monday. You guys are going to be the point of contact to be able to handle all that. So there's an additional revenue source there. The other thing is you have the capability of changing this at the same level that Nate and I have. Those people will not have that capability. You will be their capability. Okay. So when you're building this thing, as you're building it, you need to keep an eye on it so that when we get together in about another 2, 3, 4 weeks from now, we can all compare notes and see if there's any adjustments that we need to make it better before you guys have to start fixing stuff that you don't even know what the hell happened. Kind of thing goes on. So you stay ahead of that.
And it is optional, but we will, if you participate in that, you will, literally it sets up your billing yourself. So you don't have to, it's awesome. So you don't have to worry about like anything. We're going to have an affiliate program. We'll have that probably announced after the end of the weekend when we put it together. So you guys go back to core, right? And it's talking about your BuyBox. Here's your BuyBox. And you remember it kind of lines everything out, right? And don't forget, you guys can delete anything if you feel more comfortable. So what you want to do really is here's a structured example, right? Showing us one in Maricopa County. So what you want to do, whether you use a mouse like I do, or you use your fingers, you guys can go through and just basically copy that, paste it here, then go and use the structured example, just kind of as you go through it, just either do your finger or do your mouse. If you want to do multifamily but not single family, you can just go and just delete everything what's not in there. You guys want to be as detailed as possible, spend a little extra time on this because this is where your accuracy finds. But when you get this all filled out, then again, before you press send prompt, copy and paste it again when it's all filled out, right? And then, so let's just say, now I've filled it out and, obviously I didn't, but if I did it, I'm going to go back to copy here. Then I'm going to go over to you can go over and after you've copied it, then press send, right? Now go over, let's just say I've already pressed send. Now I'm going to go back to my projects over here and I'm going to look up my, my BuyBox project, which is going to be, see if I got that one. Let me find that. Guys, that's another reason I'm trying to tell you guys to keep all the 5 or 6 of these together. Obviously, you guys know I'm building, so I'm doing a lot of things. So mine's convoluted. If you have started yours, go ahead and try to keep these together. Those ones that I showed you at the beginning, and they're in the PDF now. The one I just posted earlier. That way they're together, so you have muscle memory. You can kind of just work in the same areas because it's kind of workflow. So here's my BuyBox one, right? Now I'm just going to go put that in there as and I've let's just say I filled it out. Now I'm going to go put it here. So people will ask me, does it save it? You've already entered in the system over in the BuyBox thing. Now you're coming over and doing the BuyBox project. Obviously now if I push this and I save my BuyBox here, then I'll start going using chats here. And let's say now I'll put in that Ned filing, or I'll put in that, I'll copy and paste 84.7 or how many that I find in Jefferson County, Colorado. I can copy and paste and put them all in here and have it start running through all, matching them to my BuyBox. So I'll search through it. Then your next one's going to be markets, your markets. Then you're going to have comps as your next one. So you kind of work your way down. Now you're saying this looks a little lengthy in time. It is, but that's for a reason. We're talking about 30 to 45 days. By that point, you guys are going to be working more of the deals rather than from projects just in your prompt bar. You've trained the system. And I don't know, Curtis, you told me, because I haven't looked into it. I need to. Did you? I think you told me once on a phone call we did that you researched about moving, like trying to reorder these, like change the order. I don't know if you remember that conversation when we had it. So Curtis, we talked about that like probably in March, I think. I don't remember if you remember it. But yeah, so I'll research that and see if there's a way you can reorder it. Like, if you could just click on something, you can have those projects together. So that's kind of the best way to do it. And let me just go real quick back to that that one that we did earlier today for go back to my one-on-ones. But that's kind of what you guys want to do, is just set up your project that way. It's pretty cool what to do with that.
On that, rearranging the order on those on the left-hand sidebar, you can't do it.
Yeah.
They're
I figured that.
Yeah, I remember that now, and I tried that, but there's no way.
So guys, if you haven't set it up, if you set it up, it's actually no big deal whatsoever.
No, because once you click on one of the sidebars, it will go up to the top level by itself. And unless I think there's a way to pin some of them, but there's no way to manually rearrange them.
Yeah, so I'll research that and get back to you guys and give you guys like a written like how to for pinning, like Curtis said. But yeah, that's what you guys want to kind of do is you guys want to kind of research it. Here's one in Glasgow, which guys, just real quick, this is Glasgow Place, which is in Littleton. It's actually in Littleton where I'm at. This is one we just did. I think we did this last night, or we did this. So I pulled this up off of Jefferson County, guys, and this is the case number, so you can go research it in the townhome. The NED was reported the 21st, so last week. The public trustee sale number. It's got the property profile, the information you get, the debt position, the lender, the loan originated, the recorded date. Here's the market reality assessment. It's pulling all the off ramps. Remember, you guys can click on these are the off ramps. The on ramps are just go back to your ChatGPT icon, come back to it. It's got all the estimates on there. I know people don't like to use a lot of Zillow and Trillia and stuff, but here you're talking about $5,000 difference. Homes.com has an estimated range. So this is one we did last night, which was pretty cool. Here's your conservative distressed value, your fair retail value, your optimistic forward market retail. It's pretty cool. You can do that MRA, market reality assessment. But the best part is in comps. This helps a little bit because it's obviously a condo complex, right? So obviously these are condos in the same building. So when you've had sales in the same building, how easy is it to get comps? Because they're all together and they're all the same complex. There's going to be a lot of the same, same common areas and things like that. But you can match it up if you go up here and you figure out what the square footage is. You can ask, look for, go here and look for other ones that are closer to the square footage and that have the bedrooms and bathrooms and all that stuff.
The ultimate cookie cutter project in real estate.
So that's another way to learn it. Maybe you're not interested in townhomes, but use something like this. Use some things to train yourself, that make it a little bit, where you can consolidate things and then you can bounce around and just see, what's different from Trillia to Redfin or whatever. We're using them all because you want multiple sources to, what do you want to say, verify, trust and verify, independent facts. What's that you want to say, Kevin?
Independent verification of the facts, folks.
Yeah. And that, if you guys want to see that, read what Matt wrote earlier again. So AI is like, this is a serious tool. Let me break down exactly how to integrate in your pipeline. He took RCIC and put it into base 44. And it said that. So that's a really good system. So that is a lot of what I was showing you guys earlier. What I want to do now, let me go back to There's some features on here I don't want to accidentally screw up.
This thing even has an investor real estate range, resale ceiling thing.
Yeah,
I mean, who thinks of this stuff? Who really comes up with all this stuff, right? How are you going to describe that to somebody?
yeah, I'm kind of cool. Let me see. I'm trying to get back to my. Trying to get back to this. I was initially trying to get into where I can go and let's see if I can go up here and get this. I gotta go find what I saved. What I saved. So it was, I saved because I opened one more of our other projects, and I just want to. I have to move the. I have to go move it real quick. So I'm sorry, guys. You know, sometimes we get these technical things. So I gotta move the bar. You guys know I did like almost 200 something zooms before I figured out you can move this bar. I've actually touched it one time and moved and I flipped out thinking I screwed something up. Here is Market Dominator, guys. Let me go ahead and put it on the screen. I'm going to stop share, share so I know you can see it. So I put this together this morning. Guys, I put this in one of the wholesaling groups and within like an hour, I had 6 people wanting to get information on this. You guys can get this right now. I mean, literally everything you guys get, I have Gumroad. Did you guys want to just get the link?
Yeah,
and go?
fast as he shovels that stuff at me along with the operator guides, I'm turning them back out to everybody I've got on my contact list. So some of you, I mean, it's almost instantaneous because I keep an eye on this. He's usually got something going on about mid-morning. And by usually late morning, we usually have at least one thing, and then he might even throw another one in late in the afternoon, depending upon how he's feeling. He's having fun doing this, guys. When you guys get all your stuff together and you get going and you're looking to do a custom app, then watch what he does with that.
So you guys see
wouldn't believe it.
It's like the stock exchange scroll when you connect your Anthropic API. This will start showing you a lot of stuff. This is basically designed for the 10 most motivated sellers in any U.S. market, runs instant due diligence, generates data-backed offers, and matches you to cash buyers in under 60 seconds. This is, like I said, I have a Gumroad. It's a store for people that aren't in yet. If you guys want to just go through the product descriptions, I'll put the link into the group and also into my own Facebook profile. Don't buy anything there because you guys already paid, but you guys can go read the product descriptions, get more. Just remember in RCIC in the Facebook group and in the zips.
Yeah, guys get a free copy of a free catalog that's free to you guys to use without having to pay anything to get anything out of it. Now, that is one hell of a deal if you ask me.
No, everything we're building is good. And you guys will see
all updates.
You'll see a lot of people now out there in these groups complaining like, oh, don't be all these people are building this stuff. Guys, remember, let's say Matt and Neil have known me long enough to know they remember me 5 or 6 years ago. Neil, 2019 when we met, I'm still using the same computer that I had at that conference. So I have collected I put 12,000 pages of material and documents to train RCIC Core, all 19,000 lending sources, funding sources, all the databases. We've trained this because there's people out there complaining now because one guy's like, I'm a software engineer and, be careful on what people are building. It's like, these are being built, you just saw what Matt put about what batch 44 said. When you got an AI saying this is system. So you guys have everything. You guys can mix and match.
Right here in the chat.
Yeah. So you guys can enter any market or zip, review the ranked deal dashboard, run AI due diligence, skip trace and generate the offers, match cash buyers and close. This is the preview. It's fully functional, guys. This is kind of what it's going to start looking. We got several different things, so you guys can look. You guys can test them all, decide which works for the best. Your Anthropic key, which we tell you, it tells you how to go set it up in the operator guides. There's a PDF operator guides. There's 4 of them I short on. I'll build them this weekend. There's some operator guides that are actually on Netlify that I can send you, where you guys can. Everybody wants to go set up Netlify. You get 300 credits. If you use 300 credits, you could probably host 3 or 4 of these things yourself before it ever asks you to upgrade to the $9 a month. And then if you're building like I am to $20 a month level, so it's really not that much. and I'll show you Netlify in a second. But you guys can mix and match. The ones we really like, we like the mine because I built one. I'm going to show it to you in a second. And Capital Passport, the platform, you guys can choose the operator or the platform. You guys want the platform because, like I said, even if you're just being, just use it for yourself, it's awesome. It's incredible. The Capital Passport, either or, they also come with a cleaner, and they also come with what we call a discovery it's lender discovery, meaning there might be 1,382 or maybe 100 and something of those businesses have gone out of business. You can go hit refresh, go to the cleaner, go to the discovery, add more. It's going to use AI to scour and go out there and find private lenders, hard money lenders, everything, every kind of conversation that's out there. Market dominator. Look at, you guys can go in active markets. This is the demo version, just the showcase version, so it doesn't have a lot of the features that even some of the other ones I've built do. But when you guys fully activate this, you guys, it's Claude, Anthropic, it's got React Invite, Netlify Edge, which is a cool function of it. You can actually connect to PropStream with API. You can connect to Atom with API, Batch Leads with API. The API keys are never exposed. They stay internally with you. You control everything. It's got the light and dark mode. You can download to CSV and JSONs. It'll explain JSON, 50 states of compliance. And so we're going to be putting this out there. This is 297 and 597. Right now, like I said, they have instant access on Gumroad. So that's something you guys can just go get for free. Keep in mind, you guys, just remember Market Dominator. It's going to be a zip file that's in the Files tab. So you guys, and it'll have the HTML to load in the Netlify. It'll have the operator guide. You guys can get set up. It'll actually walk you through how to set up your API key. Only, start out, put $20 in. Isn't that what you put in like meal? You put like 20. Guys, it'll charge you like 2 to 3 cents a session. So it doesn't really charge you that much. Against it, you buy tokens. Don't put in auto renew for a couple months until you guys see what you're doing. Do a lot of stuff that might cost, skip tracing and stuff. See what you can, as much as you guys can do in core to cut down on that. But these systems are incredible. So what we hosted on is Netlify, and you guys want to get this. And so this is the Netlify. Give me a second to kind of let that repopulate for a second. So Netlify, you guys will see over here. Let me move that tab one more time. So I go to projects. So when you guys have projects, like here's so you guys use that one. This is drag. You guys see RCIC systems, and I use GitHub. You guys never have to worry about Anthropic keys for that one. That's the one that we generated that access key for, and it does everything too. That's the one you get. You guys really want to do that one a lot. You put your Anthropic key in, it's great. This is the one I just did earlier, error intel, curative title. It'll help find errors for like probate and stuff. There's Market Dominator. This is IntelMine. You guys get a lender discovery, and you guys will hook all this stuff up for you. There's all these will be zips. You'll be able to get them and put them together. Then we can do a one-on-one to get them all. You guys want the basically the white label one, which is awesome. Capital Passport. They got the V2, which helps you, and all the lenders are in there. This is the showcase, and I can send that to you guys. You can see everything why you want to use Capital Passport, the platform, because that is the other one that we can. You can actually go charge other people. You can broker. You can do all kinds of things. But let me show you first. Let me show you the IntelMine, and then I'll try to see if we got enough time in this one. We got 19 minutes to show you the other ones. So when you guys go set up, you guys will be in like 11 projects. These things where you see deploys, it'll walk you through the process, but you set deploys and you go down here and it'll tell you to go browse your files, put in the HTML, it asks you to name it, then it goes live. So you guys, that's a quick setup. It's not really that hard. You're going to use quick setup, you're going to use deploys, and you guys are going to use browse files, and you'll put the HTML. So I click on this, the IntelMine. So you guys know everybody's putting out, I built a bot, I built a scraper, guys, right? Everybody can see this, the one that says RCIC Intel. So I told it what I wanted to be, as you guys know, Palantir. I wanted to be a Palantir level. Maybe they were building something for the NSA, the CIA, and the Pentagon. I wanted to be this incredible
interactive base that from hell is basically what it is.
It's got your Intel feed. your workflow. There's the system architecture. So you guys can go around and start looking at all this, all the architecture, what's going on. It'll walk you through how everything's set up. This is your target. You can go put all the information in here. I got distressed multifamily Denver. If I want to change that, I can. What the DSCR programs are, off market, single family resident. You guys can change it. We can change all these so they're keyed into. These will be keyed into your exact needs and wants, what you are doing. It's not going to be like, Matt and Neil aren't going to have the same ones. So that's awesome. You guys got Excel. It's going to go to all sources here. You see on the left.
It is definitely heaven and hell here.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
You guys will be searching social media, real estate forums like Bigger Pockets, distressed properties. There's lenders and capital. This thing is, and it's got the light and dark display. So you guys can change that if you guys like, to be a little lighter. You guys can get into your system architecture, data acquisition, data ingestion, county records, APIs, social media signals, forum community data, so forums, social media, Bigger Pockets, lender rate sheets. It'll go out and find all the lender rate sheets, public filings, MLS price velocity. You'll get into the analysis layer, signal classification, entity resolution, risk assessment, opportunity scoring, action generation, cross verification. You guys get into deal scoring cards, priority queue, team exports. You got 4 different formats: CSV, PDF, and all that. CRM pipeline import, alert workflows, and intelligence briefings. I'm going to go back to dark for a minute because what I'm going to show you looks a little bit better in dark.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm going to go ahead and show you what it looks like. So I told it, instead of scraping, I want to strip mine. I want to go deeper than anybody else. Everything we do, guys, is deeper than anybody else. More searches, more ability to find things helps you guys out. Like I said, you're not going to use all this. It looks overwhelming. Go through and look and see what 2 or 3 things, because we got like the capital passport, you got the intel, you got these things, you got RCIC systems, and you got core, you guys can just, that's what I want you guys to really focus on.
Hell, you've even got a database of federal and state regulations and local regulations regarding contact information and crap. That just came out yesterday, but basically, if you're trying to send out letters or trying to do anything of that nature, you can run it through this thing and it'll tell you whether you're legal or not. So there's a kind of a legal component to this thing too.
Yeah, so it's going to pull in your live geo intelligence mapping using GIS. So if you're operating in Tarrant County, Texas, it's going to geofence and it's going to do the deep dive into Tarrant County. And then lender appetite tracking engine. Find out what lenders are doing, what they're talking about, what they're putting out there, what's on social media, capital matching systems, workflow automation layer, your predictive market distress modeling, AI acquisition agents, investor intelligence graphs, community intelligence networks. And you guys go and you start looking at, let's say I want to get, what's distressed multifamily in Denver. Now I'm going to go out there and I'm going to look for distressed multifamily in Denver. Now I don't have my Anthropic key because I'm showing you guys this, so it'll have samples. It's not going to have the actual. You guys can see demo data loaded. You need the Anthropic key. That's what that little pop-up is. Once you guys have this, it'll actually pop up on the screen. We got one tweak we've got to make. Thanks to Matt pointed that out earlier. I'm going to try to make it this weekend so that the screen, the output to you is better. I think it's ideally that it'll be on the screen, but you can also go in and hit, like down here, you can hit CSV, you can hit PDF, DocX, Excel. So you guys can use this. These are where the buttons are for export. So if you want to save a CSV or you want to save it to Excel, you guys can also do signals, filters, motivated sellers, value on add-on deals, off-market, hard money, opportunities, lenders, private equity, foreclosures, GSR, syndications. So that is basically the Intel mine. So when I go back here now, I'm going to go back. I'm going to show you that one more. Then we'll go back over to core and we'll get ready to start closing out. So when I go back over here, like I said, one is I'm going to show you guys this. And this is what we're working on, guys.
Yeah. It was one thing having the list. We thought it'd probably be a pretty good idea if we could find some way of keeping it up to date and being able to throw out the trash every once in a while. So he stood about 2.5 hours. We got to talking about it, and there he comes spit this thing out in about 20 minutes, and it's incredible all the stuff that it does. this is just it. He's been using this machine for about a month now. As a matter of fact, I think it went live on Thursday a month ago. And this is the kind of stuff that it is starting to generate now. This goes to that 30 to 45 day thing. Okay. If you want to see an example, this is kind of what this has been doing for 30 days. And then at the same time, all the information that everybody's getting is starting to set that up too. So everybody, eventually it's going to just send it directly to you guys. We don't have to do anything. Hopefully that's in the next month, Nate. So, but the whole thing is getting really dynamic.
So this is owner real estate capital operating system. If you wanted, it's optional. If you want to just use this for yourself, you can use the operator mode, or you can have this and just use it yourself. Ideally, this is what people are going to be paying right now, the first 25. Because you guys all have access to this. So you guys, anything you guys see me post where there's like, hey, we only have 25 spots, you guys are always good. No, don't have to worry about that. There's 25 at $9.97. That'll go up. 446.
Yeah, you guys have you have what's kind of I think we could say a legacy key is kind of probably the best term for what you guys have. And that's one of the reasons why you need to write that down, stick it in a safe somewhere, because by the time this thing starts to mature, your little chunk of this thing is going to end up having a whole lot of shit going on. So legacy is probably the best way to describe what you have and how it's going to be treated. So keep that in mind when you're going through all this.
It says you're deploying a white label capital intelligence platform, preloaded with lender intelligence, AI underwriting workflows, debt analysis tools, borrower intake systems on your own brand. So Neil, your company, I know you said last night you would have a different name, but yeah, you guys have your own name. It's your own company. You guys can change things. You guys can actually go out there and set up your own, whether it's PayPal or even like what's the other one?
You can set up your own communications network with a camera and a microphone like Nate's doing right now and have a real good time by using this stuff. Okay, because nobody can argue with you what you have to start with. Well, everybody's got this, and this is why this is one of the things I was talking about earlier about how entertaining this is going to get to be. These are some of the things that you're going to find fascinating, is seeing this thing start to mature with your stuff in it instead of just Nate's. And
yeah, this is good, guys. It's got capital sources.
Look at all the stuff it's come up with in the last 3 weeks.
Deal analyzer, the borrower intake system, the capital stack builder. It's got all the SCA controls, deployment documentation. It's white label. You have full rights. Everything you guys can set up your billing, whether it's Stripe or PayPal or whatever you want to use, going to your bank account, not mine. You got mortgage brokers, capital advisors, real estate operators, private lenders, capital networks. Build your own. You have your license. You guys already have the license, so you guys can get this right now. But these add-ons, they'll get the license for $9.97. It'll go through everything that's what they get. Rapid ad deployment, $750. Add white label build out.
So you guys are getting the add-ons for, I mean, anything and full technical stuff. These people here, they have to buy this stuff, and then you have to maintain it. This is where you guys come in here, because you're going to be in a position where you're already going to have some people join up, and they're going to know some people. And point being is everybody can make you $1 or $2 just moving this software. Yeah, okay. So and pretty soon you're going to have your own network and everything else. It's just the way this thing is built is just so crazy. But these are some of the things that are going to come out of this that nobody really understands is going to happen. So these prices, if you look at everybody else's stuff and what they're selling, and then look at this, and you're kind of going, this is a no-brainer. So all of this stuff, like he is talking about, you can white label, you can put your own label on it and sell it. We know that there's all kinds of places that you can do that. Yeah, eBay, okay, and then you've got places like Amazon, all these different places that you could move this through. And it's all automated because their shit's just as internet-y as this stuff is, okay? So keep that in mind when you're trying to put all this stuff together, because it's just in there, it's really crazy. And his communications, I guess, would you call it a node, or what do you think it is, Nate? The comms one is just full of stuff that just basically can get you from point A to point Z in a flash. What more can you do with this?
And I'm going to put this into, I'm going to post this in the Facebook groups tonight, so you guys can just go then and click on it. because it talks about the common licenses, and you guys were talking about like these prices. You guys can go and set this up on your own, and do an operator strategy session. And if you set it up with us, we'll have an affiliate program where you get paid, money out for helping it. Because I'll be able to help do people a lot faster. So let's say we have a build out $1,500. You bring us a person, they pay $997 and $1,500. We'll have an affiliate program, and you guys can set all this up. So I'll post this tonight so you guys can go look it on your own. There's actually
we're going to be we're in the process of doing some test ads now on a couple of test platforms that are basically built for this kind of stuff, and we're going to probably know more in the next week or so where that part of things and how long it's going to take to get there is going to be. And when we get that figured out, we'll definitely keep you guys in mind, and we might even be getting with you as on one-on-ones along the way to try to fine-tune this thing. But that's kind of where we are this next week. Is like Nate's talking about, we need to go ahead and move on to the next phase, and that's kind of where that is. And you guys as fellow developers need to be in on this and kind of have a say in what this is going to look like in some ways. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, because you guys are going to be able to get, you guys decide what you want to do on this. If you want to just keep these for yourself, that's fine. June is really going to be making sure your RCIC core is 100% dialed in the way you want. We'll help you. We want to get to now doing the deal analysis, capital passport, and all that, and then figure out what you want to do and get all these systems put in. And then you guys,
you're gonna have to have a plan. Another thing that we need to bring in at this point, considering that if anybody's thinking about doing any kind of syndication, okay, start within this group, and then you all put one of these together and have it put together a project, and then you can put a sub project in there. So the project itself could end up being, and you could have the syndication would be the owner, and then it would already track everything and do everything for the deal, but at the same time manage the syndication part of it too. And all you need to do is get your trustee to set that up, and you're good to go. So this is really almost automated after, maybe not more than 3 or 4 months. It's almost like it's an automated machine at that point.
Yeah, so this is the GIS skip trace one, and this uses GIS. I've already got some counties in. If you guys get this, we can add your counties, of course. And this gets into like mailing address, and it's got the light and I'm building everything now with light and dark display toggles. But this gets into your parcels. There's your legal filings, intelligence. It'll generate maps, tracing for outreach. You can import from any of your Excels or CSVs. Keep in mind, these are secure. The only person that can access anything is you. Here's your webhooks. We can explain that. Here's your, an audit trail. You can audit this. So this is the Intel and skip trace. I'll show one more, and then I'll tell you why we're kind of holding back on the other one. There's one more that I'm working on that I have to and I'll explain why I'm kind of not fully releasing it yet. So let me get back to that one. I just have to play with this stupid bar. So there's another one we call signal comms, communication for outreach, and obviously
this is what I was talking about that has all the legal stuff that it covers into. It's almost like legal insurance in a lot of ways, because it's that thorough, and it will keep you out of trouble when it goes to making any kind of communications or corporate outreach or any of that stuff, which you're going to end up doing, stuff you're sending back and forth between you and the courthouses and title companies and stuff like that. It has to be secured in such a way that you're not going to get in trouble if something gets leaked. And then there has to be a part where if you're trying to find people and find deals, you don't want to send 4,000 letters to somebody that's on a do not, or a do not call list. And that particular system that's the heart of this system, is being able to keep you in compliance. If there's ever going to be any regulations where they require any tests or anything like that to be able to be certified in compliance, this is probably the model that they would use to teach. That's how thorough this is.
So guys, this is, you guys see the DNC, the Blacklist Alliance Protection. So it has that in there. HEP is something you guys probably have seen this in some other groups. So we talk about cold callers and stuff. It helps everybody set up carrier registered SMS campaigns. It walks you through the process of getting certified to call. T-Mobile Verizon, all of them. VA guardrails, it does all for if you have VAs that execute from an approved task queue. They cannot bypass any of these lists. We built this so it has guardrails. They cannot, if you have a VA, you can have trust that they're not going to be able to call somebody that doesn't want to be called. It's a mutable audit trail. This will keep the audit trail, because if you have the paperwork that shows you didn't do it, or if you do have if it did do it, you have the paperwork and you can show it, and you can show there's a plan and there's a mitigation plan so it doesn't happen again.
Just call them auto logs, for lack of a better way of.
It does. It actually does auto log. It does auto log.
Yeah.
Every send runs the gauntlet. There's a gauntlet, guys. It's internal suppression, national do not call, blacklist alliance, quiet hours, frequency cap, SMS consent. So it runs everything you want to do for communications and outreach through a gauntlet. Built for operators who run volume, solo operators, operator VAs. They've just got a team. So everybody has that for Signal. And the only reason I'm holding this back right now is because I am looking at a dialer, but I don't think we're going to come out with our own dialer, just for the fact that sometimes if you put your own dialer, there's some liability.
I don't think it's necessary either anyway, because what the different things that we're going to be doing, and you want to have a way where you're going to have to start thinking internet security on some of this stuff, and you don't want to be exposed on something like that might come through an auto dialer because it's got some screwed up software you don't know about. Just some things to think about when you're talking about doing those kind of things.
Yeah. So we're back to core, guys. If anybody has any questions, let me know. Like I said, now as we get into June, guys, get your core dialed in. And then if you guys want to look around, I'll put the Gumroad link in tomorrow. You guys can go look at the product description of all these things, and I'll have the guides if you need to mix and match. You know, we're going to consolidate a couple of them, like in the Capital Passport, both Capital Passport for operator and both for the platform. We'll both have the cleaner and the discovery, but they'll be two separate and they'll be together. The other ones will probably have no more than 5 or 6 of these. And then if you want to, you guys get them all, you can take them as zips, dial in which ones you want. We'll put the affiliate program together. We'll go over that next week and how you guys can actually generate your own money that goes directly to you. And then also, if you guys bring us people to become operators like you, here's to keep in mind, guys, they're not getting the core. They're not getting GPDs unless they do that. They do the lifetime plan on that RCICsystems.com. Go to that website, $3,500 for a lifetime plan that you guys got for $399. But now, if you guys bring me somebody who signs up for that, I will pay you $1,000. So the affiliate program will be fully functional by the end of this weekend. So yeah, guys,
just another profit center to throw in with everything else that you can do with this doggone thing. That's what we're going to be doing. And you guys are going to be in the lead on that.
Yeah, Tom, let me get your question. So you said, and this data the same as batch leads and PropStream, but faster. Yeah, no data is exclusive. Guys, you're not going to their data. You're going to your own data that's at the AHJ of the county. So that's where it's at. So what happens, a lot of these PropStream, Deal Machine, all they go to aggregators. The aggregators are actually the ones that go and get all the data. They sell it to those companies. And so, there's kind of a delay. Well, this morning, 4 of my 8 counties I monitor in Colorado release on Thursday morning. Jefferson, El Paso, Arapahoe, and Douglas, Broomfield, Boulder, Denver, Adams. There's a couple other counties. I go from Casper, Wyoming down to Pueblo, Colorado, Summit County out to Watkins, Bennett, and Adams.
Eagle.
Yeah, I'm not really doing Eagle because Vail's kind of an interesting. I'm trying to just monitor it to build this. But they released at 8:00. Jefferson County released their foreclosure filings at 8:04 this morning. So to answer your question, Don, once you know the AHJs and use the market guide, that they release that public data at 8:00. I had it at 8:04. The aggregator probably has it. They've got to go and now give it to whoever they sell it to. These are companies that don't sell to us at our level. But guess what? Now you have RCIC and you're getting it at their level. So it's getting, and I don't know what the process of Deal Machine and all these are. They also don't sell you all the data. That's why they have to sell a skip tracing subscription. You guys have multiple options. You can use the skip tracing, war room, and core. You've got the GIS skip tracing that I just showed you. RCIC system says skip tracing. And
Yeah, there's not going to be a lack of security on any of this. When he
And all
goes
the
to figure
data
out
is
what the
100%.
hell's going on with that, yeah, you're never going to have to worry about what's going on with that piece of property because you're going to know everything that ever happened to it, what it's like, where it's at, all that stuff. Because this is so cotton picking comprehensive.
And don't feel we're here, we can do one-on-one, but just get your core dialed in and then add maybe one
Yeah,
or two systems, get those dialed in and then add more. Keep in mind, like I said, signal will be last. If you like I said, the best thing to do right now is probably get Capital Passport and get the mine and get those going because those are the two really important ones, and the other ones, you can add later. You guys have the ability just to add them when you want them. You don't have to. And then if you have an issue, always have really
just
detailed.
add them when you need them. Actually, I mean that's the whole thing. You don't need anything more than don't have it in there, but just put those 2 or 3 little units together and leave it at that, and kind of get it all set up, and you're good to go.
And I built
So
some.
if you need something else, you get it.
Yeah, and I built some operating guides that are in.
Now those are a different story. You need to get your hands on every single operator guide, whether you actually have that unit or not, because that way you can kind of plan your strategy as far as when you need to get something or not. Okay. And every time he puts a new unit out there or a new module or whatever you want to call it, program, he throws that, the operator usually goes out first. So you'll have that at the same time, but the operator guides, you need to have every single one of those, regardless of whether you actually have the software to go with it or not. You just need to understand how this thing works from head to toe. And we can get that to you. That's not a problem. Just either email him or email me, and I'll make sure you get a copy of it.
And they're all going to be in the files tabs in the Facebook groups, the two of them. And RCIC's group is probably less convoluted than Associates, because obviously we've been doing Associates for 6 years. There's probably 400 things in there. So go use the RCIC one, which is just really, I'll make sure you guys have that. They're in there, and you can get the operating guide. You guys can get them. You can get the operating guide separately. I'll make sure you have them, and it'll be clearly marked, and there'll also be the zips. The zip have the HTML that you add to Netlify, and it has an operating guide. So it's cool. There's a package. So whatever you want to add, and then like I said, if you really want product descriptions, I'll put the Gumroad. Just don't buy it there because then it charges you, but it'll give you a full product descriptions of everything that does. So then you can go back to and get it. Go there, decide what you want, and go back to Facebook group and just download it. But the number one thing for June between now and really, if you want, is really in the next week. And if you want a one-on-one, let me know. I'm going to try. I'm always going to do one-on-ones, guys. What I'm trying to do now is get you guys into now actually running your deals, because a lot of people have been like, there's some people that have done a couple of Zooms, and I'm like, I'll take, I'll come back after you guys get people caught up, because it's like, wanting to make sure that we can go on to the next phase, which is we're going to get into running deals and analyzing deals and Capital Passport in June as well on the Zooms, and everything else is really awesome, man. So I'm showing you guys that I'm processing for the Zoom to put on the YouTube, a description and hashtags. Also generate a thumbnail under 1.9. It requires 2.00 megabytes of render for YouTube. I always put 1.99 just to make sure I'm under that. So it's going to generate that resource right now. It's going to so it gives you guys their suggested titles. It kind of chooses here, maybe this is the best over title. Then it's got my description. Then I go into the hashtags, and I'm going to say generate thumbnail visual.
Yeah, that's your insurance when you put those in there, because it just holds it all together like glue. If it misses anything else that goes down them hashtags, it sees where it's supposed to be.
You guys go to the YouTube channel. You can watch you can watch, there's like 80 something RCIC on the playlist. It has its own playlist. We've done hundreds of YouTube.
Yeah.
Go back and look at the ones we were just talking about it earlier. Go back and look at the ones we started in 2020, 5 years ago.
That was another thing I saw at 7 o'clock this morning. So
yeah,
You
Yeah,
never
we'll
know where
do
you
it
are until all of a
anyway.
sudden you wake up with about 35,000 of your videos and you didn't even know you had one on there. And there it is. And I just found out this yesterday. So I'm like, okay, now I'm a YouTube guy and I don't even know I had it started to begin with.
And guys, think
But
about
it's
this
cool.
Facebook groups now. You guys see somebody ask, hey, who has the best skip tracing? Who has the best this? Who has the best that?
Jesus.
Bring them because we'll have the affiliate program. And if you connect people to us, you guys are going to get, we're putting it together is pretty serious. It's not like a typical affiliate program. You know,
No, and the thing of it is, here's the other fun part. All right, it's being run by the same thing as doing your real estate stuff. It's being run. It's the same thing, running just this other thing. It's a massive conglomeration of blobs of stuff that Nate put together, and it's working. So all of that's going to be tracked by that too. So, I mean, why go against a good deal or a good thing? And so all this is getting interjected into one particular program, which ought to help a lot of people.
Does anybody have any questions? Anybody kind of wanted an update? We lost a few people in the process, but yeah, guys, you got any questions? You need a one-on-one, let me know. We'll get you all caught up. So I appreciate everybody's time tonight. We're going to go ahead and log out. And let me know if you need a one-on-one or any help. We'll get you all set up. Get that, stop share and stop recording.